Hey everyone, Jason Katzenbacker here again with Matt Clark, and we got another great call for you. We have some tremendous guests with us that have a lot of amazing stuff to share, and hopefully you can hear us okay. That's another thing. Remember, we're 15 seconds behind, so if you haven't joined us before, 15 seconds ahead, that's right. So what we're saying now, you're hearing in about 15 seconds. So just so you know, when we're asking questions and we're relating to responses, there might be a little bit of delay. But you will notice underneath this page, we have a Facebook comments area. So please engage with us. Let us know your opinion of what's going on, questions you might have. There's going to be people there answering questions. And just get involved. We want to hear from you and we want to know your thoughts.
Yep, absolutely. So welcome to this Google Hangout. As the title says, this is the final Google Hangout of this limited time release of Amazing Selling Machine. So starting tonight, or ending tonight at 11:59 p.m. Pacific, 11:59 p.m. Pacific tonight, Friday, October 24th, you no longer are able to sign up for Amazing Selling Machine. As of right now, there's actually less than 11 hours left for you to be able to grab your spot in this program. But right now, we have some really exciting things planned for you. We've got some students here that have been through Amazing Selling Machine that are going to teach you about their successes. You'll be able to hear their experiences with Amazing Selling Machine. We've got some that are doing up to $100,000 a month in sales with what they've learned in Amazing Selling Machine. And from what we've learned in the past, we'll ask them live. From what we learned in the past, people have a profit margin between 30 to 60%. That means if you, for example, build this business like they have, and hypothetically you do $100,000 per month in sales, that's potentially $30,000 to $60,000 in your pocket. And so we'll ask them what their profit margins are, we'll ask them what their sales volumes are, and how they got there. But that's not it. The other thing that we have for you on this live Google Hangout, really something we've never talked about before, is the 4-step proven Amazon profit plan. This is what you can use to promote products on Amazon, to get sales, when that's a big question people have. We've covered how to launch a product. We've covered how to find suppliers. But this is really how to get sales reliably and without fail. This literally never does not work.
And this is actually the simple little strategies we teach here, what 99% of other Amazon sellers are not doing. They're just simply throwing their listing up there, and that's why it's so easy to overtake them, just with these 4 strategies alone.
Yep, and so like I said, today is your last time to sign up for Amazing Selling Machine. We have no plans to reopen at this point. It's not on the calendar, any of that sort of stuff. So you should know that, and know that there's only about 11 hours left at this point, when we're talking right now. Now, most of you all know we're not going to be doing a whole lot of covering the general stuff about selling on Amazon. Most of you all know that. If you want to go check some of that stuff out, we only really have one resource less for you because the doors are closing to Amazing Selling Machine. You can go to AmazingSellingMachine.com/build, B-U-I-L-D. Watch that video there. You can see everything in Amazing Selling Machine. But go there after we get off here, and you can check some of that out. But we are going to cover, like I said, is the 4-step proven Amazon profit plan that you can use to ramp up sales on Amazon. And we're also going to talk to our successful students that are sitting here, a few of them, and ask them sort of how they got up to the high sales and profit volume that they're at right now. So most of you all know we've done this business. We've sold physical products. We've done millions of dollars in a single year with this business. We know how to do it ourselves, and we've taught lots of people how to do it. In fact, our students are doing an estimated $20.5 million per month in revenue right now with this business.
And growing every month. And remember, that $20 million a month right now is less than 0.5% of all of Amazon's total monthly revenue of $6 billion. So for any of you that are sitting there saying, oh, that sounds huge, they're taking up, there's going to be so much competition, that's absolute nonsense. There's so much room in Amazon for growth. We are only a fraction of the potential. So right now is such a beautiful time to sign up. Class starts tomorrow morning right at 8 a.m. Sign up now before it's too late, and you're going to absolutely love it.
Yep, so actually, I know there's a lot of people here that are already in Amazing Selling Machine. So if you're already in Amazing Selling Machine, use the Facebook comments below this video right now and let us know. Just type, I'm in, I'm excited for tomorrow when Module 1 releases, anything like that, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. So use the Facebook comments below. Let us know that you're already in Amazing Selling Machine, or that you just signed up, or maybe you signed up I guess it wasn't a full week ago. I guess it was about a week ago, yeah. So you could have signed up to a week ago, or you could have signed up yesterday, this morning, right now. Either way, or maybe you're already a past Amazing Selling Machine member. So either way, let us know by using the Facebook comments below this video. So first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and bring on some of our guests. So let's just do a quick little intro for everybody. We'll just go one by one, starting from what we see as left to the right, from left to right. So first one we have here is Charles. So Charles, maybe you want to unmute yourself. Just let them know a couple things. Let them know, first off, the most amount of sales you've done on Amazon in a single month.
Hey guys, the most amount of sales I've done so far is 60,000.
Okay, perfect. And with that 60,000, what roughly is sort of your profit margin?
You're looking about 30 to 35%.
30 to 35%. So if we say 35% times your 60,000, $21,000 profit from that sales, and that's a monthly deal. So maybe tell them a little bit about sort of, because you kind of have a unique background, because we actually met you at the live event. We've obviously since become friends. But tell them a little bit about what you were doing before you got into Amazing Selling Machine and selling physical products and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I got into Amazing Selling Machine, I was selling ebooks. If you guys are familiar with ClickBank at all, I had a digital product called Fat Loss Factor, and me and my partners were able to get the #1 spot in ClickBank for weight loss, which is a pretty good feat. But the thing is that when you look at something like a digital product, it's got a lifetime, it's got a lifespan. Someone will always build a better mousetrap. So it's basically a cash-generating machine versus a business, right? That you can actually take, grow, and sell. And I had a talk with a CEO at a huge company, and they were just saying, hey, you need to figure out what you're going to do because this is going to expire in about 6 months, and if you don't, then you're not going to have any money. So I said, oh my gosh. So about that time is when Amazing Selling Machine, it couldn't have been any better timing. Amazing Selling Machine came along, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend the $4,000. I'm going to jump on. I'm going to do it. It's going to force me to actually go through the course because you don't just spend $4,000 on a course and not go through it, right? You're going to make yourself do it. So I did, and it absolutely taught me everything I needed to know about physical products. I knew nothing about it. And I always wondered, like, you see all these supplement companies out there. I was like, oh, I think that'd be kind of cool, or any other box store, right? And it was just fantastic education just from that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll come back to you when we have another question. So just want to go quickly through the line. So next up, so you probably want to mute yourself, Charles, by the way. Next up, Eric. So Eric, maybe you want to unmute yourself. And same question, sort of, let's start with your name, where you're from, and most amount of sales volume you've done with this business. You're muted right now, or like something's going on with your microphone.
We did test this, and it did work, so.
Yeah. We can jump to the next person. All right, he's putting on a headset. If you need to, you can use the little settings icon in the top middle of the screen, and that will help you choose the right microphone.
As you can tell, we are live.
Nope, still can't hear you. We'll come right back to you while you sort that out. Next up, Kirsty. You unmute yourself. Same question. Okay, cool. So name. Oh boy. So Kirsty, I don't know what you want to do. Like your speakers, like I'm coming through your speakers now.
Really?
It's nobody else's, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, sounds good now.
So here's what we do. Okay. Mute her, ask a question, and unmute her and let her answer.
So you got to mute her. Okay, all right, perfect. So same question. Name, where you're from, most amount of sales volume you've done with this business.
Okay, so my name's Kirsty, and I'm originally from England, but I live in Australia. And the most amount of sales volume I've done is $160,000 US.
In 1 month?
In 1 month, yeah.
Very
That's
cool.
what I'm doing at the moment, and my profit margin is 35%.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, we'll come right back to you too. She said 160?
160, yeah.
So that's about $56,000 in profit in a single month with this business. So that's awesome. Last but not least, Mr. Rich Henderson. You better not have audio issues, but I know you know what you're doing. Same question for you.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm going to kill you. So name, where you're from, and your most amount of revenue you've done with this business.
Okay, so my name is Rich Henderson. I'm originally from the UK, and the most I've done combined between the UK and US is about $95,000. The profit margin. Profit margin is about 40 to 45%.
Okay, perfect. So same question for you that we asked Charles. What were you doing before this?
Before this, I've been in internet marketing for about 10 years total, doing basically everything that every internet marketer's ever done, tried everything. I actually then joined Jason's program, Portal Feeder, and actually I was just about to quit and go back to living in Mallorca and doing what I was doing there. And then I just started to make some ground in that program. 18 months ago, Jason persuaded me to actually get into ASM, and it's totally changed everything I was doing.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely come back and hear more about that. So let's give Eric one more try. Eric, maybe unmute yourself and see if we've got your audio.
How about now?
Yay!
There we go. Perfect. So yeah, same question. Name, where you're from, sales volume, and what you were doing before you got into this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's good to see all you guys again. My name is Eric Routman. I live in Los Angeles, California. My max sales is about $90,000 a month. My profit margin depends on different products that I've got, but usually averages right about 50-55%.
Okay. Awesome. So now let's go a little deeper with people. We'll come back to you, Charles. So let's talk, I guess, a little bit about let's talk about the web class for Amazing Selling Machine. So you said you've never done selling physical products. So then, how was this? Because I assume, because you've done internet marketing stuff, you've taken courses, all that sort of stuff. A little bit different for you. What do you think sort of helped you get the results that you got?
Right when you said the important stuff.
Yeah, so with the web class, like, what do you think it is that made it get you results when other things may not have?
You know what? You guys do an awesome job of just breaking things down into tiny steps. So you do something, or you watch something, then you do it. You watch something, you do it. You watch something, you do it. And the fact that you've got it separated out into 6 weeks, it's not fun in the fact that you have to wait, but then again, it kind of disciplines you into getting your stuff done. And I absolutely love that. So every course that you guys have done, it's been like that. It's just been fantastic. Much easier to digest, easier to just get something done and put action to it.
So just to explain what Charles is talking about, the way our modules are divided when you get just to the actual web classes, it's divided into 8 modules, and each module is divided into between 10 to 15 individual lessons that are video and PDF based, plus we have interactive comments and questions, a live web class at the end of the week, and we structure it in such a way that it's a very methodical process from start to finish for you to follow. So thanks for the feedback, Charles.
Yep, absolutely. So when you started getting into the web class, like, what did you think about the? Like, did you keep up with with each module, where like you were able to follow along, or how did the sort of pace go for you?
Yeah, no, I followed exactly what you said. I was like, I spent the money on this. I'm going to do exactly what they say, and it should work because these guys have done it before. So success follows success, right?
Yeah. So you were getting in there, and you obviously, from your digital product business, you had a huge email list by most people's standards. Mm-hmm. Very big email list. And you were in sort of a similar market, sort of. But when you got on Amazon, it's not like you use your email list to promote your products to get your sales volume, right?
No, not really.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think worked pretty well, or what did you learn in the web class to start really ramping up sales with the business? And what was it you think that sort of made the difference?
The listing launch formula, I did that. Just, you know what? It was just picking. I started from the beginning, picking the right market, optimizing it correctly, like you guys taught, and then just following that listing launch formula, doing the just basically just starting out, giving it away to friends and family on Facebook. So I know that that's one of the easiest, simplest, and it's free. So I started there, and from there I just built. Then from there I went to friends of friends, and just, you know, on and on. I mean, it was, you had it laid out perfectly, so I just followed suit.
Perfect. And so related to the software tools, which is sort of the second component of the Amazing Selling Machine Builders Kit, did you utilize those a lot in your business? Anything from like the email tool to press releases or any of the other sort of tools that are in there?
Yeah, the email tool, I did some press releases and I did some videos, but the email tool I think by far was my most effective tool.
Okay.
So just you know, people loved hearing from me, and you know, the way that I structured the email, it was just very nice and very nonchalantly would just ask them to, you know, how was your experience? So I tried to make it more of an experience than anything.
Yep. So maybe explain to a little bit about what the email tool is and how it sort of works and what makes it so effective.
Similar to what we were talking about with just the 4-step proven process, the fact is the majority of sellers on Amazon don't follow up at all. They just sell their product, they just put a listing up, and they don't give any customer experience, customer value. And just some of the simple little things is, for example, just following up after the order, not trying to sell to them, not trying to do anything but ensure they got their order, they're satisfied, everything is figured out, and they can learn more about the product as well. But it's just to invoke that goodwill so this person feels like, wow, they really do care, I have this product. And that's what the email tool allows you to do. We tie directly in with Amazon. There is, like, you can't tie other autoresponders into this. So we have a tool that directly works with Amazon, allows you to communicate automatically with your customers after a purchase, and it just creates a really strong environment for being able to get better reviews, good feedback, and at the end of the day, just provide excellent customer service.
So, so Charles, with the, you know, one of the major components, which is definitely want to talk about with you, because this is how we met you, is, you know, we're sitting there at the live event. I believe it was maybe our first live event.
I think so.
And you were just sitting back there in the audience, and here's this guy that's got this, you know, in the internet marketing world anyways, like this super big product. You know, I'd look at it, I'd copied sales funnels from you, done everything else possible from accessing your product because it was really, really marketed very well. So you obviously knew what you were doing. And then you're sitting back there, and like you obviously have gotten to meet a lot of people. I know you've met friends through the community. So how do you think the live event really impacted your business and maybe even beyond just selling on Amazon, but the whole physical product and everything else?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. The live event was spectacular. I'm really big on that because just being around successful people makes you more successful, and networking and just seeing what you can offer them and provide for them, you know, people are more than willing to help you if you're helping them.
Yep.
So I'm always trying.
On that point, Charles, I want, you know, because you've come to every one of the live events, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Maybe explain a little bit about, you know, how, because I know some of the friends, we've got cross-circle friends, we've been friends, but just to explain to people the power of the people that are there and the type of businesses they have. I mean, you've made friends with people that have substantial Amazon businesses now, correct?
Yeah, you know what's funny, now that you mentioned that, is, you know, from the first ASM, I go in there and you know, you just hearing the rumors going around. You never heard about that elusive person who made $1 million a month, right? So, but then the second ASM, you know, everybody's like, oh, I'm doing, you know, 100,000 a month, 200,000 a month, 300,000 a month, and then you hear about that one person doing $1 million a month. Well, the third ASM, I'm hearing like 2 or 3 people doing $1 million a month, and you know, multiple people doing hundreds of thousands a month. So it should be interesting at 4 how many people I'm hearing doing $1 million a month, because every year it seems like it's growing and growing. And I go and I introduce myself and I hang out with these people, and yeah, it's really cool. You guys have really done something awesome with this.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I guess with the live event, you've been to all 3 of them now, right?
I have.
And how do you think they've sort of changed from like the beginning, which was obviously smaller, to the other ones?
Well, I mean, it's just each one gets bigger and better. You guys are bringing more value each time and more people. I mean, look who you've got coming to this ASM, and it's incredible. Last ASM was awesome, just with Qzx and just seeing a lot of these, you know, multi-millionaires just speaking and teaching their wisdom to you. I think that in itself is worth the entire price of the product.
So a lot of people that are watching this right now have probably been to other conferences based on, you know, whether internet marketing, business related, or whatever. I know that we together have actually been at different conferences, and so could you maybe explain how ours is different than the standard kind of conference people expect to go to?
Yeah, you guys' hands down's got the best one that I've been to, and I've been to a lot, but it's just the way that you guys have it organized, the amount of energy and the fun that you bring, and everybody's having a good time. You know, just being in the hallway listening to people, I'm always observing, and everybody's just like, just absolutely love what's going on. And then the content, you know, you look around, everybody's taking like just tons of notes. So
Cool.
Yeah, so right now, you know, there are quite a few people sitting here, you know, watching this video. We already got a lot of people who already said, you know, we've got over here says, I'm in ASM, can't wait to start tomorrow. Francois says, I'm in. Daniel Vaudrin, actually been in since last year, says, having amazing time. Peter says, I'm in, looking forward to the course. Susan is in. So we got a lot of people that have already joined, but we also got a lot of people that are still sort of sitting on the fence. So, Charles, maybe before we have to go to the next person, maybe let us know, or let them know, sort of what your advice is to people that are considering whether or not this is right for them, knowing that tonight at midnight, less than 11 hours from now, that they do not have an option. Like, there is no option to sign up because Module 1 actually goes live tomorrow this time.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is not a rinky-dink course. It's not, you know, something you find, you know, it's, the people don't really practice what they preach. These guys have been there, they've done it, they've created a system around it, and the proof is in the pudding. I mean, look at how many Amazon millionaires they've already created. I mean, every year it's more and more people, and they have an entire culture that they've created of thousands of people. And you're always hearing success stories all the time. Once you get into the Facebook group, every day somebody's posting, you know, they're making, you know, hey, I've just made, you know, 50 grand this month. You know, I've never been able to do this in my life. All I did was follow this course. You know, to me, that's incredible. Like, I've never seen a course be able to create as many millionaires as you guys have created.
Yeah, awesome. So are you going to be making it to the live event that's coming up in February?
Of course.
There we go, fourth time. So yeah, so just so everyone knows, you know, obviously Charles is going to be there. He's done very well with this business, and we've announced that we have Robert Kiyosaki again. He actually spoke at the last event, but he's coming again. Author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. 38 million copies of the book sold.
Very inspirational speaker. In fact, me and Matt, a lot of people we know, you know, follow his advice, have been inspired by him, and just a fantastic speaker. Like, when you hear him, the motivation he provides, and, you know, just, it's worth to go for him alone. Never mind our second special guest.
Yep. So we also have Sir Richard Branson coming to speak, founder of the Virgin Group. Huge. He doesn't really speak anywhere. You know, through relationships and whatnot, we were able to get him to come. So that's just one component. We'll talk some more about the other components, but that's just one component of what you get with Amazing Selling Machine. So yeah, thank you very much, Charles. Maybe unmute yourself. We might be able to come back to you, but thank you very much. And let's go on to Eric. So Eric, now that we got your audio stuff sorted out, let's just talk a little bit about sort of your background, like what you were doing before you got into ASM, because I know a little bit about it, and it's really sort of a unique background, especially as it relates to physical products. So maybe tell them a little bit about that so they sort of know where you're coming from, because a lot of people ask about sort of similar stuff that you've gone through.
Yeah, no, I actually have a long time back, I actually have a technical background. So I actually started out as a software engineer, and that's where I got going. So back in the day, I was a software engineer, and I was making great money, and it was going along pretty well. I did that for about 15 years, and then one day the company decides that they don't want to pay me anymore. So the company was in big trouble, and they didn't have any real fallback plan, so they closed their doors. So that was a real wake-up call for me, and it taught me a very valuable lesson that it really carried with me through the rest of my life, and that is that, you know, there's no real such thing as job security. I mean, it really hit home for me that, you know, if I wanted to be able to control my own destiny, I really had to take it by the horns, so to speak, and get out there and do it for myself. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to look for another job. What I'm going to do is go into business. So I decided to start a partnership with my wife, and we went into a wholesale jewelry business, which we still have to this day. So we started that business, and it was great to have a business of our own where we had some of that freedom, at least what I thought was freedom at the time. But the problem was, in those beginning stages, it's you know, it's kind of tough in the beginning because you're just getting a business started and you have a lot of expenses. So somehow somebody convinced me to go into partnership with them on another business at the same time to start a restaurant. It's actually a bagel cafe. And so I did that too, and I thought that that would be able to give me the kind of the financial freedom that I wanted to have. But what ended up happening though is that I would have to wake up at 3 a.m. pretty much 7 days a week to go and drive a half hour to the restaurant, open the restaurant, and work there for a couple of hours. If employees didn't show up, then I was the one making the sandwiches, and I was the one pulling the coffee. So I would do that until like from 3:30 to about 9:30, and then I would drive another half hour to get to our wholesale jewelry business, work there all day until about 6 o'clock, drive another hour home, eat dinner, crash, and then get up the next morning at 3 a.m. and do it all over again. And that went on for a couple years.
That
and
sounds like a
I
job.
realized it was like having 3 jobs, 4 jobs. I mean, it was nuts. It was just crazy. And there was money coming in, but at the same time, I realized that's not freedom. That's no way to live. So I started looking at ways to do better than that. And what happened actually was a blessing. Was the 2008 recession really hit us really hard in our jewelry business at that time. So I started looking out for other things, and I came across internet marketing. And so I started looking for products to sell, and I started with our jewelry products, got some success doing that, and then I started branching out to other sites, other types of products, and started building some other sites for that. But at that time, I was pulling on a little bit of money, but it wasn't at the level that I want, because the profit margins were so slim. I mean, I was doing drop shipping, and my profit margins were maybe 10%, 15%, 20%, and it seems like you make money, but all the money goes out to pay your suppliers at the end of the day. So I realized there had to be something better. That was right around the beginning of 2012, and then I got this email from some affiliate about a program called Amazing Money Machine, or something like that. I thought, oh, Amazon Money Machine. So I looked at this product, and I looked at it and I thought, this sounds pretty interesting, but I don't know. I've got my own e-commerce business. Maybe I'll just stick with it for a while and not commit to this one. So I said no to it. That turned out to be your guys' first program, as you know, back in March 2012. So I said no to that. And the funny thing is, within about 2 months, I actually got an email from Amazon. Apparently, they had found one of my websites for some of my products, and so they sent me an email and asked me if I wanted to start selling on Amazon. And I thought, oh, that's very, very interesting that I just said no to this course. I wish I hadn't said no now, but now I'm going to be selling on Amazon. So within a couple of weeks, I had products selling up on Amazon, and it was slow going. I tried to do my best, but I didn't know anything about setting up a product page, and I didn't know anything about marketing and about on Amazon. I didn't know any of that kind of stuff. So it went really, really slow for about 4 to 5 to 6 months, really, and it was kind of tough. But right around that same year, October, I still remember 2012, I got another email that told me that Amazon Money Machine was starting back up again, and I jumped. I mean, as soon as I knew it, I said, this is what I need. Something, a light bulb just went off in my head that this is what I could do. This is what I could do and do really well at it. So I think I must have been the first guy to hit the add to cart when you guys opened it up that night. So I got it right away, went through all the modules super fast. Probably within 3 to 4 weeks, I'd gone through all the modules, because back in those days, you didn't paste it out for us like you do now, which is honestly a lot better, because I just kind of went through as much as I could. So it was great. That was right before the Christmas season. So I went through the modules, and within about 6 weeks or so, my business went from about $3,000 a month to $90,000 a month in about 6 weeks. So I couldn't have been more pleased by the results that I got from that, and it was just so much better and so much easier than how I'd been doing it with my job, or with my jewelry business even, or even with all my websites where I was doing dropship. This was just so much easier, and it was a lot more effective use of my time. So that's how I got going, and since then it's just been it's been a lot of fun since then.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So we get a lot of people that they're very interested, and they are coming from an e-commerce background. Maybe they've sold on Amazon, maybe they've sold on eBay, maybe they've just sold on their own e-commerce store like you did. And so with these people, they're like, I don't really understand how this is going to benefit me. I already know some stuff. So with you, like, especially with let's take the web class, like the online lessons, like, where do you think that they're going to see the most value from? Is it product selection? Is it marketing? Or sort of what aspect of that?
Well, obviously all those parts are real important. I think people that are doing well already on e-commerce, they might have already figured out some of the product selection stuff. I was lucky I had some of that already, but I think where I benefited me the most was just knowing the marketing aspect of it and how to do business on Amazon. Like I say, from what I learned from you guys, I learned how to set up a product page. How to make my titles really compelling to somebody to want to click on it and making the images compelling, and just having that aspect to it, as well as figuring out from you guys how to get the product ranked and how to actually sell products. So I think if you already have that background in e-commerce, you understand a lot of the product stuff, but just having what you guys teach about selling on Amazon, I mean, it took my business to a totally different level from where I was at with my e-commerce businesses. And also the fact that now that I'm using FBA, the Fulfillment by Amazon, to ship all the products out, it's way, way easier. So I think that, if you're coming from an e-commerce background, you got a leg up and you should go for it.
Yep. So and then with the software tools, that's another thing, is that a lot of people, they think it's just online training, and they're like, okay, I may learn something, but then a big component of it is the software tools that we've spent basically $250,000 developing at this point. So with the software tools, have they been a big factor in your business, or have you used them to grow your sales on Amazon?
Oh yeah, huge. I mean, I think I've used all the tools for sure, but probably that I've gotten the most success using the email tool. I actually don't call it the email tool when I talk with my VA about it. I tell them this is the review tool. This is the review tool, because what we use it for is just getting tons of reviews, and probably the least use of our time. Once you get all the emails set up in the tool, it's real easy. The tool just spits them out for you at the intervals that you choose to your customers, and we just are real easy about following up with them in a conversational kind of way, just like Charles was talking about. We don't try to sell them anything. We're really just concerned and offering really good customer service to people so that they get value from it, and people like that approach, and we get lots of reviews from that.
Yeah, I just, one of the things, again, I want to stress here is we focus on helping people build a successful physical products business, and as you're hearing here, you're hearing customer support, you're hearing feedback. Remember, I just want to stress with you that one of the biggest secrets to success is making sure your customers are really taken care of, so they want to brag about you. And those are the kind of things we have integrated into this. We're not just about teaching you how to do something and then setting you free. We're also there to provide you the resources, tools, inspiration, and expertise, advice to be able to actually implement those for the long term. So it's great to hear, Eric, how well you're doing. And Eric, actually, we have a little bit of a history with. He actually came on a China trip with us, so we got to know him really, really well. So one of the things that, Eric, since that time, I remember you were focusing a lot, as you mentioned, on the jewelry. Have you extended into other markets at all on Amazon, or are you still focused primarily in your one area?
Jewelry was never actually a main category I went for when I started working with you guys. We still have our wholesale jewelry business. That's more of an offline thing. We sell some things on Amazon on jewelry, but most of it was actually in different categories. I have a product line in kitchen. I have product line in two other categories that generates most of the money for us. So that's really the thing. I could stress to people too, though, if I really had to say something about that, is for those people just getting started, really, I would just focus on just one vertical. Just focus on one product line, one product, just to get going. Because if you do what I did, where I have different products in different categories, you can't really share those assets of the customer list that you have, because they're real different. Someone that's buying a kitchen product may not want a jewelry product. So if you just focus in one product area, you'll have a much, I think, easier time going when you start to expand your products.
Very cool. You want to look beauty?
Sure, you can if you want.
Yeah, okay. So another major component, obviously, is our community, and we hear a lot of positive about that. I know I see your happy face in there quite often. Could you maybe help explain to those listening just the advantages of the community and why it's such an asset to being able to help you get this business model going?
Oh, well, no question. The community took my business to another level. I mean, it really did. I mean, I think that the value that you guys offer, just for the Facebook group alone, I mean, I think it's worth the value that you offer, because every time that I've come in there, I've learned so much from people online in the Facebook group about how to run my business, the things that you guys don't even cover in the course, things especially when we first got going. And now that we've been going for a couple of years, there's this huge database now in the Facebook group of all the posts that people have made, all the discoveries that people have made that really take your business to another level, and it has for me. So I couldn't speak more highly of the Facebook group.
Very cool.
Perfect. So, Eric, like we told Charles, there's a lot of people sitting here trying to decide if this is right for them. Now we're coming up on there only being 10 hours left at this point for them to actually grab their spot. So seeing your success and the success of other people that I know you've met in the community, sort of what is your advice to them, or maybe help them sort of frame of a way to think of this that they may not be thinking about, whether or not this is right for them? Should they join right now while we're talking, afterwards, or at all? So sort of what would you say to them?
That's a good question. I've actually thought a lot about that over the last couple of days too. I think people, they get caught up a lot of times just thinking about money and about how much someone else is making or how much they're making or how much they want to make. But I think that people, you really need to, for me anyway, you have to dig a little deeper than that and really ask the most basic question that you should be asking, not just in business but in life. And that's really, what do I want? What do I want from my life? What do I really want to happen in my life? And for me, when I was getting going, it was freedom. I wanted freedom. I didn't want to have a job where someone told me, where to work and what hours to work and what to do when I got there. And I didn't want, I discovered business, physical business in the real world also can be a trap too. You don't get that kind of freedom. So for me, that's the main thing. So I would say to people, really, really think about it in those kind of terms, what it can give you. I mean, how much money does someone really need, in most places to be pretty much financially free? Maybe is it $10,000 a month, maybe less? That would something that would pay for all your expenses, something that would make it, so that you could do what you want to do. To me, that's freedom. To have that kind of flexibility, it doesn't necessarily have to be millions and millions of dollars, but you like that, of course. As you start making more and more, you have more to give back. You have more opportunity to help other people. So I would just think about it in those terms. What do I want? Is freedom what's important to me? And I think the decision, at least for me, was really clear.
Very cool. So one of the things that I really love to see is, and I love the word freedom too, because what I feel people get out of it is control of their life. So that doesn't mean, because when I think of freedom, I want you to understand my opinion of it as well. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be busy and doing things, but you're in control of what you're doing. You're in control of where you're doing it from. You're able to live your life because you're running your own business. You're lining your own pockets. Working. You hear of everyone talking about that are working for someone else. It's scary, it's risky, it's a big step, but in my opinion, it's scarier or riskier not doing something to protect yourself if something happens to your job. Before I quit my job, I remember being terrified and thinking I had all this job security. When I started succeeding, I quit, and within a couple of years, where I was working closed down. So it's a very big reality that, you might feel safe and secure where you are right now, but as a long-term thing, I recommend you really take control of your life and do it in a way that's fun, which I absolutely adore about this business model, is because you're creating something that you now own, your own physical products brand, and you're using Amazon in a leveraging way to be able to take advantage of the world's most powerful shopping engine platform.
Yep, absolutely. So Eric, you can probably go ahead and mute yourself. We may be able to come back to you. So next up, Kirsty, hold on one second. Don't unmute.